Welcome back to the Red Rising Recap series, where each video gives you a quick recap of a different book in the Red Rising Saga by Pierce Brown in under 10 minutes. This episode is all about Lightbringer, the third book in the later tetralogy and the sixth book overall. This video will contain spoilers for the entire series to date. Lightbringer picks up several months after the end of Dark Age. Pierce does love his big time jumps following traumatic book endings. The book opens with Lysander being an absolute douche canoe on Mercury, rebuilding, gaining alliances, and a fan base. He's recalled to Earth by Atalantia, where she is called a forum, in Rome, which is kind of cool. Lysander does the politics and pisses Atalantia off. In retaliation, she kills Clerastes, which Lysander knew she would do. He is the worst. He, along with Apollonius and the Mercury fleet, head to Mars with the Rim fleet, planning to smash the Republic at the birthplace of Darrow and the Rising. Meanwhile, Darrow and the remaining free legions are hiding out and repairing the Archimedes after being rescued by Cassius. Morale is not great, and everyone is pretty miserable after abandoning the rest of the free legions on Mercury, including Darrow's niece Rona. Thraxa and Calloway Char, the Republic pilot and current commander of the Republic fleet, turn up with news of the war, including that Quicksilver has fucked off and no one knows where he is. We learn that the Jackal has sold Sevro to Apollonius, and we don't know if he's alive. But Cassius and Darrow, along with the Pink Ore, the one who Diomedes sent with Cassius, leave to rescue Sevro, but the rest of their troops, including Screwface, say no fucking thank you and plan to leave with Thraxa and Calloway. Virginia, along with Victra, Kavax, Holiday, and Darrow's whole ass family, is on Mars preparing to hold the planet and Phobos, the dockyard and manufacturing hub of Mars. Pax is also there as a student at the Blue School for Pilots, but we only get to see him for a few pages. The Free Legions who didn't go with Darrow, Screwface included, show up on Mars before Lysander's whole crew arrive. We don't get a ton of Virginia chapters, but we do get some decent hints for the next book, namely that there is someone on Luna sending her information, but we don't know who. This set of chapters ends with Lysander taking Phobos, but unable to take Mars. The Rim contingent find out that something is happening at home, and Lysander agrees to go with them. All the major good guys on Mars are still accounted for at the end of the book, despite some very tense moments where we think Kavax might have died. And most of the Society major players are still in the mix, but Victor takes out Ajax after delivering the single most badass line of the series. I wish I could go into detail for these chapters, play by play, because they are some of my favorites of the whole series and continue to demonstrate what a racist twat Lysander is, but we don't have time. Darrow and Cassius rescue Sevro from Apollonius in a very tense but hilarious set of chapters. Sevro is all kinds of fucked up but doesn't know the fate of his children or wife and baby. They head towards Mars, but Virginia stops them and asks them to find Quicksilver, and hopefully Lyria, who is also looking for him, to ask him for help. During the call, Mustang speaks to Cassius and asks him to be the morning knight of the Solar Republic. It's really emotional. She doesn't tell Severo about the baby, and he doesn't get to speak to Victra. We don't see Virginia for the rest of the book, which is a bummer. Darrow and Co. head off to find Quicksilver in the asteroid belt, where they meet up with Lyria. She has been looking for Quick since the end of Dark Age. She finds him and is given the option to have the parasite repaired, which would probably destroy her memories, or removed, and she opts for removal. Darrow asks Quicksilver to come back and help them finish the fight, but Quick says that he's done. He shows Darrow some humans that he has bred and is going to try and leave the solar system and start fresh. And that's the end of the Quicksilver moments. We theoretically aren't going to see Quicksilver again. We learn that Ore is a member of the Daughters of Athena, an offshoot of the Sons of Ares in the Rim, and she reveals to Severo that Athena wants to meet him as Ares, and after Lyria spills the beans about his baby dying, Severo is fired the fuck up, and they all decide to go to Io to meet with the Daughters of Athena. It doesn't go as smoothly as they hoped, and Darrow and Diomedes are arrested by the Daughters of Athena and put on trial. Darrow for selling out the Sons of Ares' cells in the Rim back in Morningstar. I told you that would come back up. And Diomedes for being a slave owning gold. Darrow gives a good speech, Diomedes gives no speech, and they are both given a temporary reprieve and an alliance with the daughters on a trial basis. Meanwhile, in Lysander's world, Atlas, the Fear Knight, betrays Lysander and the Rim, destroying the Rim fleet and killing Dido Ora, and revealing that he is the mastermind behind Volsung Fa and the Ascomanni. Lysander saves Diomedes by putting him in a pod and ejecting it, where Diomedes is later rescued by Darrow. Lysander, after almost no protest and some lip service arguments, is convinced by Atlas to join them. The plan is for the Obsidians to destroy the Rim, and for Lysander to then come in as the hero to position himself as the best leader for the society instead of Atalantia. Fa and the Ascomani, as well as the Obsidians that left Cephi, have taken over Europa, another of Jupiter's moons, where Volga has been brainwashed by Fa and is his heir. Lyria tries to rescue her, but it doesn't work, and she's about to die when Darrow turns up inside a dead Leviathan with the help of the Daughters of Athena. Darrow challenges Fa and kicks his bitch ass with his new fighting form, the Breath of Stone. The Obsidians see that Fa has been faking the whole time and is the puppet of Atlas. Volga kills him and becomes the new leader of the combined Obsidian forces, and they pledge their support to Darrow. Cassius sneaks off to go talk to Lysander to try and bring him around to their side. They come up with a plan to kill Atlas and are successful, but right before he dies, Atlas reveals that Lysander really wants a bioweapon that can kill an entire color. After he kills Atlas, Cassius tries to reason with Lysander, but Lysander pulls a gun on him. Cassius still tries to get to him and the bioweapon, but Lysander empties the clip into him and he dies, proving once and for all that Lysander talks a big game about honor, but it all goes out the window the second it's mildly inconvenient to him. Darrow is meeting with the remaining Rim leadership and has convinced them to join with him, but Lysander FaceTimes the meeting and reveals that he's killed Cassius and lies and says that Cassius was attempting to kill him and blames Atlas's death on him as well. He then bombs the shit out of Io, steals all the trees and plants from the Garter, effectively starving the remaining Rim population, and heads back to the core. The book ends with Darrow, Sevro, Lyria, the Daughters of Athena, Volga and the Obsidians, and the remaining Rim fleet heading to Mars to hopefully save the day. So to recap, going into Red God, on one side we have Lysander, Atalantia, and Apollonius as the primary antagonists leading the society remnant, and we still have most of our protagonists remaining from the start of the book, minus one stunningly beautiful soul, and we expect everyone to converge on Mars in the final book of the series. This will be the last recap video for a while. I'll likely do a Red God recap eventually after it comes out, but if you're looking for in-depth character breakdowns and thematic discussions, I will include some recommendations for those in the description. Follow me at Sharkbait's Bookshelf on Instagram and TikTok for more Red Rising and book-related content, and subscribe to High Key Obsessed podcast to stay up to date with our latest obsessions.